what changes that jump? You know, 5,000.
So
is it like the length of the
right,
book?
It also both packages are bestsellers. I only do best-selling books.
Yeah.
So don't tell me, I just want to write a book for the second.
No, we're gonna make.
No, we're going bestsellers.
we're going hard in the paint.
You're down here, we're up here.
Welcome back to another episode of the Monarch Social Podcast, where we discuss all things digital media marketing.
In hopes to give you, the viewers at home, a little bit of insight into this digital world which we all live in.
McCall, we're back.
We're back. We're back.
We're back in business, and today we have an amazing guest with us, the one and only Miss Susana Perez.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Susana. Now, Susana is a best-selling author, and she actually helps other entrepreneurs or people write their book. So what I would love to do is, could you give us a little intro, your little elevator pitch of who you are and what you're all about?
Oh, okay, definitely. Well, when they ask me, what do you do? So I help entrepreneurs write and publish their books to showcase their expertise and, help them stand out from the competition.
Nice.
That's the short and sweet.
That's awesome.
But I also help with memoirs. There's people that overcame, different challenges and they want to help others because most people think, oh, it's a memoir about me. But no, the memoir is done to help others overcome similar situations and see, what you overcame and how you did it and that there's hope and there's healing and all those nice things.
Have you always been a writer, like your whole life? Is
Oh,
that
heck no.
something, or is that something new that just came along?
Well, I'm an immigrant.
Okay.
You can hear my accent, which I don't
What?
hear an accent.
What?
She has an accent? No way.
Well, the funny thing is that I cannot hear my own accent unless my kids record me and they play it. I was like, oh my gosh, I have an accent. I'm like, yeah, mom.
Lo siento, mejor. Vamos a hablar en español hoy.
Todo en
No
español.
hable.
Oh,
Okay.
podemos hablar en español.
Sí.
I feel targeted right now.
So that when you got into helping others, kind of tell us, like, how does that even start? Like, how did you become a professional? Because, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but how I understand it is that you help others become, not only just write their stories and their memoirs or their books, but to become like bestsellers, right?
Yes, correct.
So how did you get into that sphere, that realm of bestselling?
Right, of
books?
course. So going back to a little bit with, being an immigrant, coming to America, learning the language, and you pretty much, when you have to work, you work in pretty much anything. I've done everything. I've welded. I tried to sell cars. I say try because I couldn't do that.
Susana, the car saleswoman.
I know, I tried, but I sucked really big time on that. I got fired. So I couldn't sell a car.
Okay.
Anyways, I've done a lot of things, and then my middle son, he developed type 1 diabetes. That is, he became insulin dependent, and that was like, whoa, flip my world upside down.
Oh, yeah, it's a big
upside
thing.
down.
Yeah, you said it right.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. It's like Stranger Things over here.
And
Shout out. It came out today.
Came out today. That's why it's in my brain. Sorry, keep going.
so I had to find a job that allowed me the flexibility to go to his appointments and training. If something happened, I can just drop everything and do it and take care of him. At the same time, provide for my family. I was, a single mom with 3 kids. And so I started a cleaning business, which is like, I clean houses for a living. I mean, I ran my own business. I loved it.
Yeah.
So I provide for my family. And doing that, I met this lady, and she was working from home before working from home was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to these events and conferences across the country. And I was like, wow, what do you do? I really want to be you when I grow up, And she says, I help people write and publish books. And I was like, what? There's a thing that you can actually do that? And she's like, yeah. And I can, anybody can write a book. Even you can write a book. And I was like, what am I going to write about? And she says, you have a successful cleaning business. You can help people, start their cleaning businesses. So that's how I published, in 2017, my first book, How to Start Your Cleaning Business and Make Money Within a Week.
Wow.
And no, it didn't become a bestseller, but it was my first book. And I was like, wow, that's so awesome. What if I can do that for a living? But, reality life kicks in. You need to pay bills. You need to, I wasn't ready to help others. There's no way, after one book. But 2020 happened, and you know what happened in 2020 is like everything was upside down, and
the dark year.
Yeah, seriously.
And everybody's like, whoa, I gotta do something. I mean, if I don't do something for myself, nobody's gonna do it. And I mean, the world's gonna end. I may as well do what I want. So, back then. And then I published 2 more books in 2020. I hired a coach to help me publish a bestseller, which I did in 2021. And I hired a coach to help me grow my business.
Awesome.
And then in 2021, I had my first client. So I learned not just to publish books, but how to make them bestsellers. Sorry, that was the short, long story.
No, that's fine.
No, I like that. That's cool. What were the 2 books that you published in 2020?
I published one that it was how to start a business in the pandemic.
Oh, cool.
I was like, well,
It's top. That's a good topic. That was probably a super popular topic at the time.
I was
too.
like, I'm looking for information on this. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people looking for information about this. So I put, a lot of information on different things. And then the other book, it was called Write It Already. It was a book about how to overcome procrastination and finish your book.
Oh, that's cool too.
I think all business owners out there kind of deal with a little bit of procrastination.
Oh,
yes. Like even like the really like go-getters, like every once in a while, we all deal with that.
Controlled procrastination. There was something like
small doses.
Little procrastination honestly kind of like makes you do things, like puts idea into action.
I have so many questions, but I think one of the things, Koa, she's being a little coy. So she had a really successful cleaning business, and she sold it in 2017.
Yep, I did that.
Oh, got you.
There's that also. So she's not just an author; she's a real entrepreneur that sells business, and starts other ones. With your writing business, man, the biggest questions that come to my mind are 2 things. A, since we're a marketing company, right? Like we talk all things digital media marketing. How do you use a best-selling book to market, or how do you get it to be a best-selling book? Is there?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
What
How
are
do
the secrets?
what do you do
Well,
to
I
get
cannot give you my
best-selling?
secrets. People pay me for that.
All
I'm
of
just-
them, not all of them, not all of the secrets we know, but like, how do you get it to be a bestseller?
Right. So first of all, when it comes to an entrepreneur, for example, I just have I'm not going to say the name, but a realtor, a very successful realtor in the area, just hire me to publish a book about sales, because that's what realtors do. They sell. So he has his own way to do things, and he was very successful. He is very successful in his industry, so he's going to write a book to teach others. So in a how-to book, this is what's going to be. It shows you how to get from point A to point Z. He will give you the exact steps that he followed.
Like the sales process, or
right.
okay, this is what I do.
Right. And then you can apply that for any sales. It doesn't matter if you sell houses or vacuum cleaners or services. You can apply those principles. And then, so in the book, you have the how-to, but by having a book, you already stand out from the crowd, from your competition. Wow, he must know what he's doing. He wrote a book about it. But guess what? If your book becomes a bestseller, it's recognized by Amazon. I mean, Amazon is the biggest bookseller in the world. I mean, if you're a bestseller on Amazon,
That's a good place to be.
I mean, that's a good title to hold.
And of
Absolutely.
course, we do the work. It's not just a book, a crappy book put together. We do the work to make sure that we deliver what we say in the cover. If the cover is going to teach you how to sell anything in 10 minutes or whatever the title ends up being, we deliver whatever the title says. So after that, when you're explaining that to the person, so the reader is getting to know you, they likes you at that point, trusts you that you know what you're talking about, and you're dropping hints. I'm doing this conference next coming month. Go to my website and I give you a free whatever, or make an appointment to talk to me, or I have this course coming up. I have whatever, you can hire me to become a speaker in your event. I mean, the book is a marketing tool. Right there and there, the person, when they put the book down, they're like, wow, this person knows what they're talking about. I can either implement this or call this person and hire them so they can do it for me. You know, there's things that I'd rather pay somebody to do it for me. I mean,
For
you can write a
sure.
book about bookkeeping, but there's no way in hell that I can do my own bookkeeping.
Right.
I'd rather pay somebody to do my taxes and my bookkeeping.
Yeah.
And that's with everything else. Social media marketing. I was like, you know, you can spend hours doing TikTok videos or YouTube videos or whatever, because there's so many different aspects on social media. Or you can hire somebody, an expert that knows what they're doing.
And have them do it. Yep.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that, guys?
Hey, they're not paying me to say this. I'm just saying.
We didn't even talk beforehand. We jumped right into this. So. Yeah, you can hire someone to do your marketing for you.
Which is smart.
What a novel idea.
Which is smart. I was gonna say, so like, say somebody signs up with you, like, how do those sessions go? I always like visualize somebody just sitting in like a nice comfy chair, almost like it's like
a
therapy,
psychiatrist,
like
therapist
a
chair.
therapist session, and they just lay back and they start telling you their story.
Someone's just writing.
and then somebody's just like writing it down. How does that interaction go?
So,
Or what's the process?
You are right in some aspects. Sometimes of what I do is a lot of listening and just kind of guiding them through the process. I'm like, okay, this is good material for your book. That's all the parties doesn't really apply. Maybe don't talk about your ex like that.
yeah, literally, because you probably hear the whole story.
Let's focus
good,
on
bad.
the
And
overcoming.
you're probably right. It does turn into a therapy session when
Yeah.
they're telling their story.
Yeah.
They get into
Yeah.
some deep
Like I
stuff.
listened to like I can't remember, maybe it was Floyd Mayweather. I read some super famous person's like autobiography, and they're going through their life, and I'm like, he didn't write this. I know he didn't write this, but he
Yeah.
told somebody, and they made it sound really good. And I'm like,
Right.
I would just always
Listen.
wondered how that interaction happens. And,
Anyways,
like,
I have
Go
an
ahead.
accent. I have to use editors, but because there's no way in hell, you know,
can
I
get
can
all
write
that
about
out.
all that out. I mean, yes, I do the first draft, or the author does the first draft. I don't care if you type it, if you record it. I don't care, but you need to give me the information because you have everything in your head of how this is going to work, how you know your skill. I cannot learn that from you, so you have to put that somehow in a paper or in a document, and from there we take it to my team, and we have ghostwriters, we have editors that will dissect that thing and
Make it nice.
nice.
Yeah.
And you know,
That's
I
cool.
even went through I go to the whole thing myself. Like I write how I talk to you guys, but that's not a book. You know.
that's me too. I'm like, I would like if I was to try to write a story about myself, it would just be so all over the place.
Random.
Like literally
Yeah, like, no,
rambling
we need to
on
focus
about
on this.
Yes.
And even with my memoir, I wrote all these cool things that happened, and then my editor was like, well, this doesn't go with the story, this doesn't go with the story, you need to redefine this doesn't go with the story. I'm like, I'm gonna have no book left if you keep taking stuff out.
You're taking out my life.
So you have to, help the reader to go in a streamline through the process or through the path that you want them to follow. So
Which it makes sense why you would hire somebody to help you do that. Because,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like majority of people, and I don't speak for everybody, obviously, I know that you write, but a lot of people don't write. And they would be like me, where it would be all over the place and make zero sense. So that's where it makes sense to hire
storytelling
somebody.
is a skill.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's for sure. But so when I met this person, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to have her life. That's so awesome. And I love books. I love reading. I'm this kind of, hoarders, but for books.
Yeah.
I have a ton of books
I
from
know.
Amazon. I go to the thrift store, I buy books. I go, Audible, this and that. I was like, and all these books that are waiting for me to be read, and I keep on bringing more books.
It's
I've
a
had
library.
I've had that problem myself. I love buying books. I love buying poetry books and stuff like that. And it's kind
Look at you!
kind
You
of a
have a
problem.
soft side.
Oh yeah, that's what I write. Like, I have a published book. Anyways, but I write poetry. So.
Oh, nice.
I listen to Audible. I don't really write at all.
The other question. So okay, that's kind of like how it works. But how long is that process? So say someone wants to work with you, get started writing a book and things like that. What's that process look like as in timeline? How long does it take?
Right.
What to expect?
So I forgot English. Let me start again. So it all depends on the person. I had one client that we went from the very beginning to publish book in 60 days.
Oh, wow. That's a lot faster than I thought it was.
Yeah, we
That's
can
really
do
quick.
it in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, depending on, you need to deliver the first draft to me before I can do my thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do that, if you're, slacking off. I'm like, okay, well, you pay me, but I mean,
the timeline's just gonna keep going back. Yeah.
Right. But and you need it sooner for whatever reason. Let's say you have a conference next month, so you want to go ahead and show that you have a book coming
for the conference.
Yeah, we can do a pre-launch. You can become a bestseller with a pre-launch book, and then get there to the conference.
And then you're like, boom, here's my book, a bestseller.
Yeah.
Google me.
Yeah, and that's what I did with my memoir, because I was like, I want to test this. So I pre-launched the book. It became a bestseller because by pre-launching, you don't publish the book, but you have the cover and all the information that goes in the book. And then you pre-launch it so people can buy it. And then whenever you upload the manuscript and it gets published, they receive it.
Yeah.
So, but you can pre-launch your book and become a best-selling author even before you actually wrote the book.
And you mentioned it a little bit, and I don't know how comfortable you are saying, but how much is it to work with you? Like, is it expensive? Is it pretty affordable? Do you do like monthly stuff? Like,
so it depends on what expensive is for people.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
My fees go from $5,000 to $10,000, and we do ebooks, paperbacks, Audible.
What changes that jump?
So
5,000.
Is it like the length of the book?
Right. It also both packages are bestsellers. I only do best-selling books. Yeah. So. Don't tell me, I just want to write a book for the second. No,
we're going to make
we're going bestsellers.
we're going hard in the paint.
You're down here, we're up here.
Yeah. We're putting you on first page, So.
Right. And it depends on if you want like media exposure and PR sent out and maybe interviews on podcasts and TV and things like that.
Yeah.
So that, and then I do work with payment arrangements. The only requirement is that your last payment has to be entered before the book is published. Because I don't, I
like
don't have
that.
time
That's a good way to do it.
Go after people.
Yeah.
I want to bring that energy into my business.
Pay your goddamn bills.
Yeah, for real.
That's what I like to tell my customers.
How do they react?
They're fine. They're still with us. They're still with us, right? The other question I have, and this is the interesting thing, is say I have a best-selling book, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, say you make it that bestseller that week one. What is it like residually? Does that still get seen? Does that book still get seen for a while? Or is it like the majority is like upfront, you get that big exposure when the book launches? Or are you getting book sales like consistently months afterwards?
So you do get book sales afterwards. It also depends on how much you promote it, because Amazon is going to promote it for the first 30 days since you publish it and for as long as you have reviews and purchases. But if people are not looking for it, and it also has to be with algorithm. I mean, did you place it in a way that it can be easily found when people type things on Amazon?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to be like more active, like on social media, or you're more active promoting your book, obviously that's going to go like way further than like the recluse John who owns a plumbing company or something. That's just like, I'll write
I made this book,
this.
but then not do anything with it afterwards.
So that might be,
there's people that put him. I mean, got the book and they put him on their shelf and like, okay, I got a best-selling book.
Cool, got in my book.
I mean, yeah, that's awesome, but you just pay me a big chunk of money. If that's what you wanted, I mean, that's good for you, but I want you to get your money back. Right. So I talk about doing pre-sales. I talk about sponsorships. I talk about how to get your money back even before the book is launched. I had people that got 75% of their investment back within 2 weeks of launching the book. I have another person that she got more than what she paid me before the book was launched.
Well, speaking of that, which one was your most successful book
I was
launch?
just about to ask that.
Yeah, what one was the most successful, and why was it? Why do you think it was?
I will say, this person, she sold 130 books, I think, something like that, before the book was launched.
Damn.
And
that's
she
crazy.
keeps on selling books. But the thing is...
What's her book about?
So the book is a memoir, actually.
Okay.
She's an amazing person. I mean, and her story, wow. She's she was an extreme athlete, and then she went to war. Like, she went to the military. She's a veteran. She has a Purple Heart. Then she... I know, right?
Crazy.
But that's
why.
That's just the beginning. That's just the beginning.
Wow.
Then she got out of the military and quit a 6-figure contract to be like, I don't want to work in a cubicle or for anybody. So she she became like a river rafter guide in Alaska.
Oh
and then,
I've got a couple friends that did that. Same exact thing.
She's like, I'm making $10 an hour, but I'm the richest woman alive.
I'm happy. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why a bunch of my friends did that. They went to Alaska to
and
do
then
that.
she went to Puerto Rico. She met the love of her life. They had a baby. Then Hurricane Maria happened. They were homeless. They would live in a freaking tent. And then she got pregnant, and then he died of a heart attack walking in the middle of the road. And then she was homeless with a baby and a pregnancy. And then they were building their house, because of the hurricane. So, I mean, it's like it's whole
crazy story.
Sounds like a story, like a movie.
Yeah, literally does sound like a movie.
And that's the other thing. Because she was saying, I'm doing a book, somebody contacted her to do a
movie?
A series.
Wow. That is so cool.
I mean, when you decide to write your book, things can happen that you didn't even know.
Yeah.
But it's not until you take the decision to do something that other things start happening.
Yeah.
See, and I mean,
I'm not saying write a book and you're gonna get a movie proposal. But I mean, the potential is there.
You're at least putting something out there that who knows. It's like fishing. You're at least throwing the bait out there, and who knows what could catch.
I have another client that he says, I've been a nurse for 17 years. But it's not until he published a book and became a bestseller that people were like, oh my gosh, tell me about this book. And I'm like, dude, you know me. You know what I've done my whole life. But it's like, it's not until then that people actually see you. Mm-hmm. And, there's so much information, so much everything happening that it's hard for us to be aware of what's happening in everybody's life. But sometimes something like that, somebody published a book and became a bestseller, kind of makes you look at twice and be like, oh, what are they doing? Oh my gosh, look at what they're doing now with their business or life or whatever. So it kind of gets people attention and sets you up apart from the competition.
Mm-hmm. That's super cool.
Interesting. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I've got two questions, and one of them I'm almost embarrassed to ask, but what defines a memoir?
So a memoir is like a biography, but it only focuses on a few aspects of your life. It's not like, this is me, I was born in this time, and no, it's more of a, let's say, 5 or 10 events of your life that have defining moments.
There we go.
But they all have to be connected in a way that you deliver a result.
It's like a reflection on a certain part of your life.
Got you. So it's not okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why my own memoir was like, no, we're gonna keep these. I was like, no, but this is fun. And look at that.
Yeah, so it's like narrowing down just to one specific aspect.
Yeah, and you were asking me about this. So my most successful book. It was not my book, of course. It was this person's book.
Yeah, keep going.
But she, if you read her story, I forgot about the part where she ate a. So she went to one of these. When you go to this reality TV show that they drop you in the middle of an island and Survivor.
Oh yeah.
So she went to one of those too, and
geez.
she ate a slug because you have to eat whatever you find, and then she got it's called rat lungworm disease.
Oh my God!
And she became paralyzed from the waist down.
What?
I know. I forgot that part.
Oh, that's just a little part.
I know.
Susana, does this story have a happy ending? I've heard horrible things happen, but what happens at the end?
Yes. So the happy ending is that life continues and move on, and then she chooses to stay present. She stays present in the moment. She does what she loves to do. She teaches, dance. She gardens. She grows her food. She cooks for her family. She takes care of her family. And I think that's the key element for all of us, to be present and value what we have. Those are replaceable things. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm making up words.
No,
those
that's
are replaceable things that
they're
money
not
can
replaceable.
buy.
Irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable.
Yeah, irreplaceable.
Irreplaceable things that money can buy, but they're the ones that have the most value.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the beauty of it. I mean, after everything, you can choose to live the rest of your life valuing what you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can sulk in all of that and make your life miserable with all of the things that have happened to you, or you can appreciate all the littler things and really appreciate life as a whole and stop trying to strive for, you know, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? I think that hits, I mean, that hits home for me because I feel like I struggle. I'm always looking for like, okay, I'm not satisfied with this. I'm not satisfied with that.
Right.
And really I'm taking for granted a lot of the things that are beautiful in my life because I'm like looking for the next thing.
Well, what I was going to say, you know, what hit me was being present. I think in our day and age, being present is probably one of like the most hardest things.
It is. It genuinely is. It's just like our society nowadays. It's how
especially like even having a kid, you know, and like I have my son on the weekends and stuff like that. And it's so easy just to like jump on my phone and like, oh, like what's going on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or Twitch or all these little things that are just in the palm of your hand. Being present is really hard. And that's part of the reason I went out last night. You know?
I was just about to say that's like a big thing for me, as like I like to go out in nature and like separate myself from all of those things. And you really do appreciate the little things that you have, just to be there, just to view this waterfall, to see the sunset. Like those little things is like, yeah, it brings you back home and it makes you feel like, okay, cool. All these other things that are going on in life, sure, they might not be the best, but at least I have this. You know what I mean? At least. And
she and herself being a veteran, I think she gives you perspective that sometimes you get annoyed that you just spill coffee on your shirt and that ruins your day. And you're like, really? That ruins your day? When, I mean, of course, she had experiences that we haven't had. You know, she saw people blow up in front of hers and, you know, and kids carrying, you know, guns and thinking, is that child going to kill me or do I have to kill them? Or, I mean, geez, I don't want to be on those shoes. But, I mean, those experiences that she tells, I mean, it kind of makes you open up your eyes and, you know, seeing like, oh, wow, I need to value the things that I have now.
Wow. Well, how powerful.
That is powerful. That is.
Be grateful for what you guys have.
Yeah.
I think that's...
So, yeah, that book is called The Zen of Dancing in the Rain.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, what is this book? We might have to
The Zen
pull this
of
up.
Dancing in the Rain.
The Zen of Dancing in the Rain. You
Let's go
can
read the
find
book.
it on Amazon. It's by Aurita
Cool.
Maldonado.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Well,
very cool.
After that, let's switch gears just a tiny bit. Thank you for that story, and you know that's your most successful. I can see why that.
I can see why that would be super successful.
Your most successful book, yeah. But let's switch gears just a titch now. Since we're a marketing company, how do you get your leads? Like, how are you finding these potential authors to write their books? Like, what is your process of finding your clients?
Wait, I'm supposed to have a process? I'm just kidding.
Yes, you should. You should have a process, a replicatable process.
I think we need to talk after this.
Okay.
So my the way that I find my clients is mostly word of mouth and social media. By social media, I'm talking about Facebook. That's where my people are. And when I say my people, they're older people like us.
Sure.
Like, you know.
And
because
Facebook, is it just you post, like making a post or a part of groups, or are you like running ads on Facebook?
No, I don't do ads.
Okay.
Sometimes I post on groups, but there's a lot of groups that kind of have rules about posting and whatnot. But I kind of share my experience or share what worked for me, and then sometimes people reach out to me for that. But mostly is sharing what my clients are doing, what their success, and then their people seeing what we did. Because, for example, we were able to have some of my authors go on TV for free when people pay to be on TV. Just by having a best-selling book makes you, somebody that they want to have.
TV wants to have you on because you have something.
Well, being a best-selling author, you instantly have that authority. You instantly have that weight of like, hey.
Well, okay, this is what my question is what defines a best-selling author? Like, what defines that best-selling between just a normal author?
So it's just what the name said. Bestsellers is the most sold book in a certain category for a specific amount of time. You can be a bestseller for a long time, but it depends on your following. It depends on how many people know about your book and about you, and they will buy. You can be a bestseller for a day, or you can be a bestseller for a week or for a year, depending on, But once you have the best-selling title, it's for you to keep. For you. That's just your achievement there.
That's cool. Yeah, I had no idea what the difference was.
I mean, sadly, it doesn't mean the best written book. It doesn't mean the
it's
the
like
book
this is the best book.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that it's the one with the best cover. But in our end, we try to make it a good book that is it will tell you, it will teach you what it says in the cover. It's just not fluff. and it's a good, has a good cover. It has, everything is done in a way that it can be compared to any other book.
Got you.
Awesome. So what's next? And just real quick for our people that are watching this, I heard our camera go off again.
Yes.
So guys, we're just gonna finish this with the audio now, and we'll put a picture up of just us smiling. Our smiling faces.
Looking awesome.
But that being said, what's next for you? What do you have going on this year? What are some of your goals as, in your business? Where are you going with this, and what's next?
Of course. So I've been doing this for other people for a year now. So publishing or helping them publish their best-selling books. A lot of people don't know what to do after the book is done. And like I mentioned before, I don't want you to spend the money that you spend on getting a book published and done, and then put it in the on a shelf and just saying, I have a best-selling book. No, I want you to get your money back and more. I want you to grow a business your business from that book. So what I'm creating now is a program that we teach people how to monetize their book, how to make an online course, a podcast, a YouTube channel,
So it's like everything after you've got the book.
Everything after, So depending on what the person wants and needs, because not everybody wants to have everything,
I can see some people using the book as a marketing tool itself, but then I can also see some people using the book as the core product, of their company or whatever their business is.
When you sell a book on Amazon, you make $5. So no, that's not going to be, you're not going to be rich selling books on Amazon. You need to have a system, a strategy behind it to see okay, when the person reads the book, what are they going to do? Are they going to contact you for your course, for your seminar, for your program, for whatever it is that you do? Mm-hmm. And then that's where you're going to get your money back. And that's how you're going to impact people, because this is not just about money. It's about impacting all others so they can also grow what they have going on, their business or their careers.
That's cool. That's a way cool thing to do afterwards. It's like a full package, you get the book and everything else that goes with it.
I'm in the process of learning all of these things so I can deliver that to my clients for the ones that want to go beyond the book. I had a client that started a seminar or a thing on Facebook that she goes, one day a week.
Goes live?
Yeah, goes live one day a week, and she teaches one of the chapters. So one chapter can become a whole class of what she does. She does energy healing. So
that's cool.
So each chapter can be
its own live session.
Right. So you can monetize that in courses or seminars or speaking engagements.
Very cool.
Well, awesome, Susana. The last thing that we always do is we roll out how Sean Evans from Hot One says, the red carpet, to say if people want to work with you, or if people interested in writing their book or a memoir and getting their story told, where can they find you? What's the best way to contact you? How do they get a hold of you?
Okay, great. You can go to my website. It's www.susanaperez.us, SUSANAPERZ.us. I'm on Facebook, Susana Perez. US, I think.
Awesome. And we'll also link that.
Yeah, we'll link all of this
in
below.
The description, wherever you find this, whether it's on any one of the platforms. We'll get
you know where you can find us?
Yeah, where can we find these, Koa?
You can find this podcast. Of course, you can find our lovely stream that is a little halfway broken this session on YouTube. You can also catch this stream, the actual audio, on all major streaming networks, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you.
We'll wrap it up here. Thanks, everyone. We can't wait to show you what we have in store. We actually have, Koa, every single Friday plus days scheduled until July.
Let's go.
With guests.
Wow.
And so I'm really, really excited to see where this goes. But anyways, thank you so much for being here. And guys, we'll catch you on the next one.
Yes, see you.